because the cameras captured more than just uncomfortable flirtation. What was meant to be a lighthearted dating experiment on the Jackie Christie show has descended into full-blown reality TV disaster. Social internet is ablaze with rumors that Ty and Evelyn weren't merely there for a good time. They arrived with a ton of unresolved business, anxiety, and receipts. Fans are in disbelief. Videos are going viral. And the internet is ablaze after BBWLA's segment footage revealed shocking revelations, odd combinations, and startling prior relationships. Was Jackie genuinely attempting to find these women love? Or did she inadvertently create the conditions for emotional conflict? What began as lighthearted matchmaking swiftly devolved into a tumultuous altercation characterized by cold looks, quiet shade, and one stunning moment that left everyone wondering, did Ty just out? Evelyn on national television, according to insiders. The episode revealed a convoluted love triangle that no one anticipated, as well as prior betrayals and hidden relationship issues. It was evident that this was not just another talk show taping, even if Jackie managed to smile her way through the confusion. This was the scene of combat. Fans are left wondering how much of this was retaliation and how much was genuine, seen by the awkward responses and smoldering subtext. And we assure you that this is only the beginning. Jackie Christie came up with the idea to make her talk show more interesting by using it as a dating platform for some of the BBWLA women. Additionally, even though the idea was lovely on paper, as soon as Ty Young and Evelyn Lozada took the stage, it changed completely and became something else. No one was able to fully describe the heavy tension in the air. The crowd sensed something simmering beneath. Jackie's grins, which were pumping up the section like she was Cupid herself. They were correct. Ty arrived. Calm on the outside, but those acquainted with the play claimed she was entering prepared for battle. She wasn't looking for love, not tactually. She was there to watch, to listen, and perhaps to ensure that no one misrepresented the events that had previously transpired between her and Evelyn. And Evelyn, who was radiant, enchanted the audience and shared Jackie's laughter. However, her entire attitude changed the instant she met Ty's gaze. For a moment, the smile vanished. She narrowed her eyes just enough to see it. As Jackie presented the segment, supporters were paying attention and cheering. By asking sly questions like whether the women liked snuggling or collapsing after sex, she attempted to keep the conversation lighthearted. Sure, some of the responses made people chuckle, but others made the audience feel uncomfortable. In particular, when asked about her past relationships, Ty lied in her one-word response before turning to face Evelyn. It landed, but it wasn't noisy or filthy. It was caught by all. It was captured on the internet. All of a sudden, this enjoyable courting game began to feel more like a silent confrontation, either unaware or acting as though she was. Jackie persisted in her efforts to persuade Ty and Evelyn to engage with the men she had brought in. However, neither appeared to be interested. Evelyn appeared to be on the verge of leaving the set as Ty continued to provide terse responses while assessing each person in the room. The curveball then appeared. One of the ladies who entered the dating pool said in passing that she was wanting to connect with a woman and was married but polyamorous. Ty arched an eyebrow. Jackie, bless her, pretended that this was completely natural while Evelyn's lips clenched. Later, fans claimed that was when everything changed. At that point, the awkwardness gave way to misogyny. "So, your husband's okay with this?" Ty inquired, leaning closer, and the woman nodded. "He promotes it." Suddenly, however, Evelyn, I guess some people like secrets out in the open, was quick, slick, but heavy. Without a word, Ty turned to face Evelyn at once. The quiet was deafening. In an attempt to advance the conversation, Jackie chuckled nervously, but the atmosphere in the room was strange. There were reports of discomfort even among the crew. A dot. The inquiries then became even more pointed. Jackie inquired about turn-ons, deal breakers, and the importance of size. However, Ty began transforming the inquiries into nuanced attacks rather than engaging in lighthearted banter. Her response to the question of what size she liked was, "Anything above 7 is fine." At least something that can't lie to you. She looked at Evelyn as she said this. And it didn't go over well. Overlooked by now, the men sitting in were almost invisible. No one was observing them. The tension between these two women, who obviously had unresolved business, was the center of attention. Evelyn made an effort to remain composed. However, the cracks were beginning to appear. At one point, she crossed her arms, rolled her eyes, and waved one of the guys away when he tried to flirt with her. She mumbled, "I've had better. Believe me." Ty laughed softly, which just made Evelyn more agitated. Twizza dance is icy, calculating, and very intimate. The spectators were riveted to their monitors. He began putting the pieces together. There were a lot of theories. Did Evelyn date Ty? Did anything happen behind the scenes that was never broadcast? Jackie continued to promote the segment in the meanwhile, Chas trying to force a love tale out of a group of people who obviously didn't want to cooperate was all right. And the truth began to seep out more and more the more she tried. After being harmed, Ty was once asked if she would be amenable to meeting someone again. Jackie asked who owed her the apology, but she shrugged and said, "If the apology ever came, ... maybe." Jackie was obviously fishing. Fans gasped as Ty grinned and remarked, "The one who thinks her silence is forgiveness." Social media exploded. Evelyn remained silent. She was not required to. Her intensity altered, but her stillness was sufficient. The flirtation vanished. Responses became defensive and curt. She lost her temper when Jackie questioned her about her belief in second chances. Not for liars who then pretend to be victims. And there it was, the mask fell off. Finally, leaking into the room was the true reason they both appeared. Unstated but indisputable. Whatever had transpired between them had not yet been settled. And the stage 4 was this tiny dating game. Their emotional impasse, according to reports. The other members of the cast who were observing from behind the scenes were taken aback. According to some insiders, Chantal was texting people during the entire taping process to alert them to what was happening in real time. It is said that Brandi advised a producer to cut this particular piece. It is going to explode. However, it was too late. The cameras were in motion. The drama was developing, and every moment of it was adored by the crowd. The dating show has turned into a battleground for subtle disclosures, animosity, and shade. Jackie tried to rekindle the enthusiasm as the piece came to an end by thanking everyone with her famous talk show smile. But it was obvious that something had broken. Ty left first.com as usual. For a further minute, Evelyn remained behind, adjusting her microphone and avoiding eye contact with the audience. They were still attempting to make sense of what they had just seen. Was it an unplanned call-out, an accident, or the start of something more significant? Because there was no doubt that no one emerged from that same segment. Not Jackie, not the visitors, not the admirers. It's possible that the cameras ceased recording. However, the fallout was only getting started. As production assistants rushed to grab or remove the most incendiary clips, tensions increased backstage. Before anybody could stop them, rumors of leaked video began to spread. A little excerpt from Tysa Fan Forum received a statement regarding forgiveness, to which responses varied from pity to downright censure. While some fans supported Ty and praised her candor, others chastised her for sharing private complaints on TV. A longer video of Evelyn's "better than that" comment was circulating on gossip blogs at the same time, igniting discussions about who was at fault. Both women's friends defended their favorites on social media. A close associate of Ty, Shared Athey, said there had never been a feud and accused Evelyn of fabricating the story to garner attention in a picture. Showed them laughing together at a previous occasion. Conversely, Evelyn's relatives began to leave comments, implying that Ty had fabricated their relationship in order to win sympathy. Suddenly, what was supposed to be innocuous accusations of betrayal swept through comment sections. Fun became a nightmare for public relations. Jackie herself came under criticism. She was criticized for being careless. saying that instead of arranging matches, she set up her guests for embarrassment. Every word she said was scrutinized by talk show experts, who noted that she did not step in when the situation became too personal. Some even questioned her intentions. Was she only inciting drama to get ratings? Or was she actually playing Cupid? Producers privately defended her, claiming that strife is what reality TV is all about. However, the strain was genuine behind the scenes. Advertisers began asking about their commercials, unsure if being associated with such explosive content would damage their businesses. Evelyn and he had almost fought during breaks. Evelyn reportedly barged into a dressing room while yelling about respect, when Ty cut her off with a suspected backstage secret, leaving Evelyn stunned. Some crew members allegedly felt nervous going back to work the next day after security was summoned to diffuse the tension. The tension was evident, and those tasked with maintaining order were excited for the next show to premiere, so they could see the audience's reaction. Jackie tried to diffuse the situation by recording a follow-up social media post in reaction to the uproar. She urged kindness and respect, thanked everyone for watching, and emphasized that her section was entirely lighthearted. However, there were already a ton of memes, reaction GIFs, and contentious discussions in the comments section. Influencers took sides, creating recordings of reactions that attracted millions off-sites at night. Fans conjectured endlessly about what actually transpired behind the scenes as the unofficial hashtag Jack's dating disaster became viral on Twitter. In the midst of all of this, Ty took a risk. "Truth always finds its way out," she said, as the caption for a mysterious Instagram story that featured her alone herself on a rooftop at sunset. Fans started looking for hints in the post right away. Was she talking to Evelyn? Was she hinting to a more serious betrayal? Some astute fans speculated that Ty taped the narrative after speaking with Evelyn face-to-face, because the rooftop tile's pattern resembled a spot close to Evelyn's house. Although trolls had a field day, Ty was reminded that her truth mattered by sincere supporters who offered encouraging words. Evelyn retaliated in a same spectacular manner. She posted a behind-the-scenes selfie from her beauty trailer with the comment, "Still standing strong." Although she didn't specifically name Ty, it was obvious what she was implying. She apologized for the way this piece was handled and promised that the complete unedited film would show the true situation. In a brief clip of a voicemail, she said, was from a producer a few hours later. Whether this was a real leak or just another dramatic move to keep the audience interested, fans quickly conjectured. Former cast members were interviewed by entertainment blogs as news outlets became aware of the impending storm. A cast regular's ex-wife made references to off-camera connections that would further exacerbate the mess. According to another insider, Evelyn and Jackie had a long-standing conflict, and that this area was merely the most recent battlefield. Talk show hosts debated the morality of revealing such private information on national television by asking relationship specialists to comment. While some denounced it as harsh public humiliation, others claimed it was liberating to reveal concealed facts. The families of Ty and Evelyn were drawn into the whirlpool of drama. On her account, Evelyn's teenage daughter begged fans to refrain from involving her. Their disagreements about their mother's private life. Ty's brother, on the other hand, made an Instagram video in which he criticized online bullies for tearing down his sister and defended her freedom to speak her truth. The story was further complicated by the family division, which transformed what began as a dating show piece into a complex conflict that had an impact on all parties. A well-known BBY fan page claimed to have acquired an audio recording of a private conversation between Ty and Evelyn, which was possibly the most unexpected event. The two women were heard in the clip apologizing for unresolved harm and politely talking about their problems prior to the event. In contrast to the ferocious interactions seen on tape, the tone was subdued, almost conciliatory. There was much discussion about the audio's veracity. Skeptics referred to it as a deep fake, while some fans thought it demonstrated that there was more to the story. In any case, it fueled the flames and demonstrated how eager viewers are for the actual story behind the dramatic headlines. Sponsors and legal teams became involved as the days went by. Production quickly released a statement stating that they would check the part to make sure all regulations were observed. As the women's attorneys warned them, stakes were raised even further by the potential of litigation for defamation if any fraudulent claims were broadcast. Suddenly, the focus shifted from TV ratings to careers, reputations, and the public disintegration of two well-known reality stars. Fans stayed glued to their devices, constantly checking their social media feeds and making predictions about each post, despite all the pandemonium. With producers dissecting each phrase and gesture from the episode, reaction videos took off. There were a lot of conspiracy theories. Some assumed the entire situation was a smoke screen for an impending spin-off series, while others claimed Jackie had staged the drama to set for a unique reunion confrontation. Both Ty and Evelyn profited from the publicity amid the commotion as follower counts skyrocketed and media outlets flocked to their next assertions. The consequences persisted even months later. Highlight reels and talk shows featured clips from the episode as instances of reality TV gone too far. The tension persisted even after Ty and Evelyn were asked to participate in interviews and attempted to reclaim their stories. What started out as a straightforward dating game had evolved into a cultural phenomenon, one that viewers continue to point to as the ideal illustration of how reality TV conflates entertainment with emotional warfare. What began as a lighthearted concept on Jackie Christie's show ultimately turned into a tale of secrets being revealed. Arguments on social media, family strife, and court fights. The shocking realities shown on camera were only the beginning. A complex web of silent apologies, strategic power struggles, and old grievances was hidden beneath the surface. And one question persisted on everyone's mind as the dust settled. Was this the start of a larger confrontation or the conclusion of the mayhem? As Ty and Evelyn changed from enemies to hesitant co-conspirators in a drama, it seemed like the entire reality TV world was watching. Neither of them had complete control. Production provisionally planned a Healing Circle reunion episode in an attempt to control the narrative and calm the outcry following the audio leak and legal threats. Ty accepted, seeing it as an opportunity to express herself honestly and unhindered. On the other hand, Evelyn saw a chance to finally correct the record. Backstage, a stack of handwritten notes is used to silently prepare both women. Evelyn with a relaxing music selection. Crew members murmured that they had never seen two stars so precariously close to a meltdown or a truce. And the tension hummed in the air like static. Jackie greeted viewers with her trademark smile as the reunion set's cameras started, telling them she wanted everyone to find common ground and put their differences aside. However, as soon as she presented Ty and the crowd held its breath, Evelyn by her side. As she described previous complaints, unanswered calls, dubious remarks made in interviews, and the sensation of being deceived by someone she once referred to as a friend. Ty spoke first, her tone calm. She spoke with hurt honesty rather than rage. There was a murmur among the audience when she was done. A few admirers gave sympathetic nods. Others looked at each other doubtfully. No one could predict Evelyn's reaction. After taking a deep breath and straightening her hair, Evelyn gently stood up. She spoke directly to Ty. She started off by saying, "I never meant to hurt you," in an apologetic yet defensive tone. She attributed the editing to miscomm producers, her own errors, and their words for drama. She said that she regretted not getting in touch sooner and that she had let pride to get in the way. There was a brief hope that true healing may take place. Jackie appeared relieved as the studio lights dimmed, but Evelyn's face tightened. She went on, "But I won't apologize for standing up for myself. Something darker caused." Ty's eyes to flash with surprise before anyone could comprehend Evelyn's final remarks. The truce was broken as fast as it had been established. Tai retaliated by accusing Evelyn of using their friendship as a clickbait tactic and of making up things to remain current. She brought up a private phone conversation in which Evelyn allegedly threatened to reveal Tai's private history if she didn't comply. The audience let out a gasp. Evelyn tightened her jaw. She denied it, but Tai insisted, citing screenshots of the text and timestamps. The clip had already broadcast live to millions of viewers before the show's producers frantically switched to a commercial. She was accused of character assassination by some on social media, while others dubbed her Tai brave. In the midst of the assault, the reunion had become more combustible than the initial courting portion. Jackie raised her voice above the commotion as she attempted to restore control. "Ladies, let's take a breath," because she didn't deliver on her statement. In front of the studio audience, the two women stood, silent eyes and cheeks that gleamed with tears of fierce determination rather than despair. With her arms folded and her posture determined, Evelyn, every detail was relayed by the lingering cameras, as dozens of fan hypotheses surfaced by the second. Viewers at home watched in morbid interest, constantly scrolling their Twitter feeds. Was this a planned stunt or a genuine reconciliation? The confusion was heightened by the fact that no one knew. Evelyn and Tai withdrew to their own dressing rooms. Tai addressed her followers personally in a live Instagram post. After expressing gratitude for their assistance, she added incoherently, "Sometimes the truth hurts more than the lie." She left the call abruptly without providing further details. Evelyn, on the other hand, sat in her trailer and shook her head while reading through the remarks. She danced to a popular tune in a brief TikTok video, which she captioned, "Moving on, keeping positive," seemingly trying to alter the story. Fans analyzed each moment. Was it damage control or true resilience? In any case, the flame had been rekindled by both ladies. Talk show hosts examined the reunion in great depth the following day. The original segment's polyamorous twist is one of the hottest topics. Experts in relationships argued over whether the show had taken advantage of non-monogamy for dramatic effect. A few people praised the visibility. Others criticized the program for sensationalizing people's private lives. Some commentators even proposed bringing in a certified therapist to help resolve disputes in subsequent shows. There was no indication that the media circus would slow down. Every tweet, every headline. It was impossible for Tai or Evelyn to pull back without losing control of their own stories, since every reaction video added a new aspect to the story. Amidst this chaos, Chantal, who had been noticeably quiet up until this point, appeared as an unexpected ally. She expressed her viewpoint on a well-known gossip podcast, claiming to have seen Tai and Evelyn at their best and worst. She presented herself as an impartial observer. She voiced dissatisfaction with the show's handling of the situation and made a suggestion that she would testify to producers on the manipulations that took place behind the scenes. Once more, Chantal's involvement changed the focus. Supporters speculate that her testimony would completely destroy both sides' reputations or support one. Beyond what the initial dating game may have implied, the plot became more complex. Internet detectives, meanwhile, examined every footage, every scene that was removed, and every outtake that was leaked. According to some, they found an unedited question in which Jackie inquired as to whether each woman had ever cheated. Others claimed to have seen the coaching lines of producers. The entire episode, according to conspiracy bloggers, was staged as a mockumentary to advertise a new streaming arrangement. Even seasoned fans found it difficult to distinguish fact from fiction because of how widespread the rumors were. It was a reality TV show that blurred the boundaries between performance and sincerity, and everyone agreed that the drama was addictive. Tai and Evelyn found themselves at a crossroads when the initial turmoil subsided. Both were presented with significant brand partnerships related to an athletic clothing line. Evelyn, a beauty partnership, but the agreements depended on their readiness to work together on more candid content. The majority of advisors cautioned them against it. Why take the chance of another public outburst for a sponsorship? However, both women are faced with the same conundrum: money and importance against peace of mind and reputation. Their teams engaged in frantic negotiations behind closed doors, with each side attempting to outmaneuver the other. Of all the battles, was the quietest but most fierce. One thing therefore became evident as the string of outrageous disclosures and backstage conflicts became part of reality TV legend. It was far from over. In a story that went beyond a straightforward dating show mishap, Ty and Evelyn had unintentionally become co-edits. The fans were ravenous, the producers were on guard, and the cameras were still in position. The story was sustained by each podcast appearance, cryptic message, and social media update. Controlling the narrative before it controlled them was more important to both ladies than simply settling past grudges, with rumors of a spin-off special that would bring Ty and Evelyn together for a last confrontation. The next chapter of the story started. The network reportedly saw the outrage created by the reunion program as a chance to host a live on-air Q&A session where viewers could ask questions in real time. According to production-related sources, the catch was clear, but both ladies apparently received six-figure bids. Without an editing buffer, they would have to confront one another in strong studio lighting. The thought of going back to that battleground felt reckless to Ty. However, the opportunity to determine her story and the cash were alluring. Evelyn, on the other hand, struggled. She was unwilling to reopen past wounds. However, a live forum gave her a stage on which to express her viewpoint without bias. Days passed while their agents negotiated camera positioning, confidentiality agreements, and appearance fees. A fresh character entered the drama during the discussions. Brandi, who had been noticeably lacking up until this point, known for her frank remarks and sharp wit. Brandi volunteered to moderate the live event, saying she could guide the discussion away from rancor and toward resolution, in order for Ty and Evelyn to resolve personal issues away from the cameras. She suggested holding a series of private mediations prior to the live taping. Supporters were split. Brandi was praised by some as the show's required mediator, while others believed she was trying to establish herself as the reunion circuit's queen. Even Brandi's participation was sufficient to reignite the craze, seen by the trending hashtags. #spinoff special and #peace, rather than fight, when she shared a teaser on her personal social media accounts. The sponsors, who had first been hesitant, have now returned with a renewed sense of urgency to take credit for promoting empowerment via open dialogue. A well-known fitness company suggested a branded content episode in which Evelyn was approached by a cosmetics business to talk about resilience and self-care, and Ty would deliver a yoga class on forgiveness. In addition to offering generous endorsement checks, these corporate tins included brand guidelines requiring the women to avoid using derogatory language or making personal assaults when performing live. A delicate dance was produced by the conflict between sponsoring commitments and genuineness. Evelyn and Ty could receive a windfall, but only if their performance stayed within the thin line separating slander from reality TV. By the third night of negotiations, insiders joked that the number of lawyers exceeded that of the production team. Both women increased their social media engagement as the important date drew near. In a series of well-produced Instagram videos, Ty openly discussed vulnerability and gaining strength. She presented her previous struggle as a springboard for personal development and played calming, uplifting music, taking a fresh approach. Evelyn shared unguarded behind-the-scenes pictures of herself getting ready for the live recording, complete with handwritten note cards and a Truth Bombs playlist. One selfie ready to speak from the heart. "No filter, no fear," she said as the caption. Every detail was examined by fans. There was much discussion over whether Evelyn's choice of song, the font on the words never before seen, were revealed by Ty. The tone for unvarnished responsibility was set by Ty's closing statement. "I'm not here to shame you, but I need you to understand how your words landed on me." It was Evelyn's turn next. She paced the stage, inhaling deeply, and started by recognizing Ty's suffering. She played a brief audio clip of a voicemail she had left for Ty the day following the initial apology tape and said, "If my words hurt you, I am sorry, but you have to understand I was also hurt. and I didn't have a way to process it. Genuine and repentant. The video reverberated around the theater, and many audience members wiped away their tears. Evelyn had a definite plan. Humanize herself, take responsibility for her errors, and show that her feelings were as legitimate. A murmur went through the gathering as she ended, looking straight at Ty and asking, "Can we find a way forward?" This was the moment that had been anticipated by all. Brandi invited questions from the crowd. A fan with a Ty wristband gave the first one. Ty gave an honest response to the question, "Do you think you can trust each other again?" Acknowledging that forgiveness was a process rather than an event, and that she wasn't sure if she could completely trust Evelyn, but she was prepared to try. Evelyn gave a nod fiercely, her eyes glistening with tears. The following query was from a supporter of Evelyn. "What did this event teach you about yourself?" In response, Evelyn said she had gained humility and understood the value of straightforward communication, which she intended to apply to all facets of her life. The conversation was personal, sincere, and spontaneous, just what the producers wanted to record. A surprising turn of events occurred just when it appeared like the reunion would endure. A blooper clip of producers advising Eileen and Chantal to build tension for better footage was inadvertently shown on a backstage monitor during a question break. Before the transmission was cut, the clip aired for roughly 10 seconds, but the harm had already been done. Whispers became a shout as fans in the audience gasped. When Ty and Evelyn discovered the show they believed was helping them had been playing with their pain all along. Their faces hardened as they continued to stare at the monitor. The live show suddenly turned into a brand new scandal that exposed reality TV as a whole. "Hello everybody," Jennifer started Tubecam. "We are live from the aid camp because we pledged honesty." Speculative and skeptical responses swamped the discussion from home-watching fans. Evelyn spoke calmly as she leaned forward. "Do you want to express gratitude?" She began, "Everything we did seemed phony. I get it. I let my fears to control how I behaved. But today we did real work," she added after pausing. "We got our hands filthy. We served and we listened." Brandi looked directly into the camera. "I'm happy that I called her out. However, I also understood that simply calling someone out is insufficient. You must also build them up." She gave Evelyn a gesture. "I appreciate you taking charge." Jackie grinned broadly. "And thanks to everyone who watched. We hope our path encourages you to serve in your own communities because, although we are human, we are not saints." Jennifer concluded the meeting. "You are welcome to join Ooze. Tell us about your experiences, your work, and your battles. Let's continue this compassionate cycle." The three of them waved as she held up a placard with a campaign hashtag. The cameras shut down as the stream came to an end. But the bond it created went much beyond the tents. The ensemble gathered around a roaring fire pit for a final time as twilight descended. They were joined by volunteers and survivors, creating a wide circle of solidarity. Storytelling mixed with laughter. The night sky was filled with songs. Additionally, competition and suspicion subsided for the first time that day. Brandi offered a toast while holding up a cup of hot tea. "To the souls we served, 2 clouts left behind, and 2 broken vows repaired." The group gave a collective cheer. In the wavering firelight, they discovered something more profound than could be conveyed by a headline. The fact that true empathy and cooperation might turn ashes into hope even in the face of scandal and treachery. Furthermore, even though the next scandal may only be Athy had created an authentic moment that could not be destroyed by rumors or leaks. One thing is evident as the dust settles after this wild ride of disclosures, treacheries, and surprising alliances. On BBWLA S12, nothing is ever boring. Bry's unexpected revelation of Evelyn's covert behavior set things in motion. A conflagration that put friendships to the test and compelled each cast member, to examine their own motivations. After Jackie and Jennifer intervened to feed the flames, they helped ignite an unexpected redemption story in which icy accusations turned into sincere cooperation. Feelings were running high. Fans are stunned by every turn, and the family was split up more times than we can count. Nevertheless, hope was rekindled, blankets were distributed, water was provided, and actual lives were touched. It's your time now. Was Brandi correct to point out Evelyn's games? Or did she go too far? Was Evelyn's apology a genuine one, in your opinion? Or was it only another theatrical act? Is it possible for Jackie and Jennifer to truly reconcile their differences in drama and empathy? Is this merely the quiet before the storm? Give your best shot. Read the comments below. Then tell us which side you support and why. Hit the like button if you've become addicted by each moment of scandal, and sign up to receive all of the juicy BBWLA S12 updates. Strike the alerting bell to ensure you don't miss any exciting new developments, because the tea on BBW is constantly steaming hot and you won't want to blink. Thank you for viewing, and please share your thoughts. You may just motivate the upcoming explosive.